going on, everybody? Jeremy with Detroit Tech, and I have a confession to make. I love the Pixel 4, specifically the Panda version of the XL. I know it's not exactly a popular stance to take, just let me explain. All right, let's kind of fly through the specs of the phones. We've kind of heard that ad infinitum so far. We've got a 6.3 inch display, pixel density of 537 pixels per inch. The display is OLED, up to 90 hertz refresh rate, Snapdragon 855 processor along with a Titan M security module and a Pixel neural core. Sounds awesome, like knurled walnut, but not. 3700 milliamp hour battery, has an 8 megapixel front facing camera, and I will not call it a selfie camera. IR flood emitter, IR dot projector, and radar, of course, in the front. On the back, there's a 12.2 megapixel camera and a secondary camera with 16 megapixels that acts as the zoom lens. It still has the active edge sensor on the side for the squeeze functionality, which I do love. And it's housed in a glass sandwich with a really nice aluminum frame on the outside. Now, with those specs, especially the battery and the almost last gen processor, why do I love this phone so much? Well, let's start with what I don't like about it, get that out of the way first. Yes, the battery life. It's not so great. It's pretty small for like the size of the device, especially considering there's no headphone jack, because, you know, we need to save space. The Pixel 2 XL that I just got rid of still finished the whole day with more battery than this brand new phone does. And I bought the 2 on launch day, and same thing as this. I don't like that they got rid of the fingerprint reader either. I understand it, you know, moving forward or whatever, but I don't like it. With the dot projector and the flood illuminator, I know, you know, they're relying on face recognition, but I don't like having to always use facial recognition. I can unlock a phone faster with the fingerprint sensor, especially on the back of the device, way faster than any phone that relies on the facial recognition. Like, oh, it'd be unlocked right here. Oh, no, but this one is unlocked now. It's just faster. The video quality that it takes is only like, okay. With such an amazing camera, I would hope the video would be great too. I mean, it's passable, I guess. And I have like an actual camera for video if I want to do something kind of more serious, but it would just be nice to have better video on here. And the fact that they had 60 frames per second and then like they had it and then turned it off is just freaking annoying. I'm not a huge fan of the square on the back either. I mean, it's growing on me a little bit and it kind of like starts to disappear when I look at it. You know, a lot like what people say about those disgusting notches on their phones. And at least it doesn't have like the double camera bump, like it doesn't bump and then bump, like, you know, the iPhone 11 does. I do like the fact that it's just a black square and there's not like extra circles to make sure like, hey guys, check me out. I've got like 7 extra cameras back here. Now that I have the major negatives out of the way, why is this the best phone for me right now? Actually, quite a few things. Now, I actually love the screen. It gets bright enough for me in my use. I tend to be inside most of the time. It might not be perfect in the bright sun, but it does look way better than the Pixel 2 XL. And I did use Marquez's trick, at least that's where I heard it from, of forcing the 90 hertz refresh rate on all the time. Now, does that make my battery life suffer? For sure. Do I care? Not really. I want 90 hertz all the time, every time. And honestly, I'm not a power user. I'm not using, you know, screen on time for like 5-6 hours a day. I still finish with over 50% battery life. And as long as I have my backpack with me, I have 2 battery banks to rely on. And you know what? I don't mind the giant forehead and chin either. The top bezel is basically the same size as the Pixel 2 XL, and IMO still way better than a notch. Now, I'm saying this as a person whose wife has the Pixel 3 XL, and I still just hate the knot. Just let me have my screen, just the screen. I know other manufacturers have these amazing like edge to edge screens and stuff too, and they're beautiful, especially like Samsung screens. Like the phone looks so pretty. But with this bezel here, I get accidental screen taps all the freaking time. I hate deleting a letter instead of typing a whole new word or hitting shift. I'm not entirely function over form, but when function keeps me from using my device in the way that I want to use it, which I paid for, I definitely lean towards function. Plus, look how pretty. The overall build of the phone is like great though. I love the panda color, again, with the orange power button. The buttons clicky, responsive, and the glass on the back feels great. It's not too slick, plus the aluminum rails on the side are like they're grippy without feeling rough. This is the first phone in actually a long time that I've had where I haven't wanted to put a skin on it. And I think the OnePlus One was the last one. Maybe the Nexus 6. I don't remember which one came out first. Those were the last two I didn't have a skin on anyway. Now I won't dive into the camera too much. It's a Pixel and I'm waiting on the blind camera test from Marquez with bated breath, probably as hard as you are. But the camera's freaking great. The astrophotography is not something I'm gonna be using super often, but it is actually really amazing. The super res zoom is also really amazing too. I know everyone got like super butthurt about the lack of wide angle lens, but personally, I find myself wanting to zoom in a little bit, like way more often than wanting to get wider. So for me, totally works. The app is simple and fast to get around in as well. And the like dual exposure sliders for the highlights and the shadows allows like just enough tinkering to like feel like I'm a, photographer. So that's good too. Plus the portrait mode is still the best I've ever seen and has the best edge detection of any other smartphone camera that I've seen out there. Now, again, I mean, it's not perfect. Hair is really tough, but it's amazing. Check out my hair on this shot. I mean, like, that's really impressive. So when you get down to it, really, any of the top 5 smartphones, and as Marquez has showed earlier this year, lots more phones have cameras that are honestly great for sharing on Instagram or just, taking a quick picture to remember or, whatever. It is really nice to have something this good though. And one of the biggest draws for me is honestly just the operating system and the UI. Rather, I should say the clean UI. I remember a time, back in the day, a simpler time, when the Android UI was just awful and gross looking. HTC Sense UI had like just come out. It felt and looked like super cool, like the HTC One. I just wanted that on like every phone I had. Then Android started looking really good. I'd root my phone and put like CyanogenMod onto it so I could customize it more, but still keep that clean look. Now, I don't really have time to root my phone and put like custom ROMs on it, so I really just want the pure Android experience. I don't really like Samsung's UI. I mean, it's not terrible, I just don't like it. OnePlus is good, but doesn't quite have the integration of Google Assistant that I really want. Which brings me to probably the second biggest reason I love the Pixel 4 XL. Google Assistant is baked in like real hard. The squeeze feature was originally thought of, I think that was the Pixel 2 XL. People thought of it kind of as a gimmick. I use it like literally almost every day. Plus, I'm very deep into Google services. I have multiple Google Homes at home, the minis and the regular ones, and they all work very well together with my phone as well because of Google Assistant. I know that other manufacturers have Google Assistant too, but a lot of times it feels kind of tacked on, like here feels a bit more integrated, not just like an app, Google Assistant tacked on to the phone. Plus I love which is not that big of a thing, but I love the now playing feature where it shows me what song is playing like all the time. It's great. The Pixel phones also get updates very quickly. My Pixel 2 XL had Android 10 about 20 minutes or so after they said they were letting Pixel users download it. I've never had to worry about Google like finally making it easy to install security updates. I just get them. And then there's Project Soli, the little radar chip in the forehead that allows you to perform tons of functions like rubbing your fingers together to turn up the volume. Is what I would say if that functionality was here yet. The radar really does basically 3 things. It allows you to wave your hand over the phone to like skip songs or snooze alarms. It creates like the bubble around your phone to quiet alarms when your hand gets closer. So I'm not picking my phone and this alarm is going really loud in my face. And that same bubble basically wakes up your phone. So when you pick it up, it's already looking for your face and using the IR dot projector and everything. Now there are tons of reviews on YouTube. People have been pointing out their thoughts saying that skipping songs is terrible and it like works like 2 out of 10 times. And the phone's not recognizing their gestures. I mean, I've had pretty good success with it, mostly like 9 out of 10 success rate, but also I don't really use my phone to just play music that way. I'm using it like, I have headphones for music. Speaking of speakers, again, I rarely use the speakers on my phone to consume content, but I actually have found them to be extremely satisfying, really, when I do. For like smartphone speakers, there's really good bass response and they get pretty nice and loud. But rather, should get back to the radar. Again, it just fits my use case very well, even though some of its functions may not work perfectly the way, a lot of people want it to. I don't really use those functions. So overall, I love the phone. Yes, there are some flaws. There are issues with it that are deal breakers for some people. Some people need better screen to body ratio, not your pinhole be darned. For some, the smallest battery is a complete no-go. They need 6-8 hours of screen on time. But for me, again, I'm not a power user. I don't play music on my phone. I don't need the swipe to work. I don't need a stylus to take notes. I don't play games on it. Heck, I wish I would leave myself voice memos more. The new recorder app that captions your memos, makes them searchable, is insanely cool. But really, the phone does what I need it to do very well. Once I force 90 Hertz onto it, the screen is awesome. Pure Android is my favorite, and I love the Pixel 4 XL. Don't at me. Thanks for watching, everybody. If this video was helpful, helped you make a decision to buy or not to buy the Pixel 4 XL, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. If you're thinking of flaming me in the comments for liking the phone, please don't. I'm sensitive. Either way, let us know in the comments below. Are you buying a new phone now? Or are you waiting for the next Samsung to pop up in February like Torians? We'll catch you in the next one.